Hi and welcome. Today I have a piece for my small art ring journal. I have a large one that's been done, a mini that I work on. I don't know if I'll do another large or not, but anyway, so this is my small, and I have some paper, Bristol smooth paper, cut 3.5 by 5, I think. Sounds about right. And giving it a layer of old paper, distress ink. And I'm going to try to keep the old paper in the middle. And I'm going to add some blues around the outside edge. I start with some lighter color blues. This is salvaged patina. So you see I'm trying to keep the middle portion without any blues. The second color, I'll have it listed in the description, but I'm almost thinking, let me look here. I don't think it's evergreen bough, but it kind of looks like it. Yeah, maybe it is evergreen bough. I thought I had another one that was kind of greenish, but I think that must be evergreen bough. The other possibility is it's peacock feathers. So I'm reinforcing the old paper center. And now I'm going to add a little bit of stamping with some Versamark. Before I do that, I, number one, had to make sure that my ink was dry. And then I add this static resist bag just to help get a clean stamp. And actually, I really try to get a not so clean image. I make it kind of more in the center and then not so much on the edges. So that really was accomplished by how much of the distress glaze I put in those areas. And if I had any spots that I didn't like, I just used a dry paintbrush to remove some of the distress glaze. And I believe I am using scorched timber. The only thing I can think of that would be that dark that I have. I'm going to use my heat tool and emboss that. And now I'm going to add some darker blues. Stormy Sky is the first one I add on. Well, I hope you can't hear my stomach right now. I just had lunch and my stomach is going bonkers. I'm staying pretty close to the edge, just coming in a little bit. And then I think the next color I'm going to use is Uncharted Mariner, or unless I used Faded Blue Jean, but I think it's, yeah, that's Uncharted Mariner. Just trying to get it darker as it goes out, so I'm not going in quite as much as I did on the Stormy Sky. And I'm splattering water just to kind of give a little bit of lighter, because where I splatter the water, it will remove some of the paint or some of the ink. So, and that's kind of what I'm wanting to do, is just having some dots of lighter color. And then I'm going to give a little splatter of Vintage Photo. And then I'm going to make sure it's all dry. Now I cut this out on my Cricut. I just wanted to kind of experiment a little bit with something new in the background. And I wanted it to kind of look like a doily, but not. And so I found this pattern, and I'm just going to, and I cut it out of the Bristol smooth paper because I knew I'd be adding some ink. So I'm just putting some blues on my mat, and I'm just gonna kind of scrunch it into those blues. And once I get a base of those two blues, I do come in and splatter on top of that the lighter color blues I used. Like, I think I do the evergreen bough and maybe peacock feathers. And that was hard to wipe up. That was a lot of ink there that I should have used for something else. So here comes I'm pretty sure that's evergreen bough and peacock feathers. but whatever blues you've got. I just wanted to add it to kind of give a little bit, because the background can look a little blue-green, so I just kind of wanted to bring a little bit of that into the scrolly thing. And then I'm gonna give that a dry before I start working on collage. Not sure if I do the collage right away, or I'm gonna lay it out, I think, first before I. So this bird is a digital download, and it comes with different colors of birds. This was going to either land on July 4th or near July 4th, so I thought I'd get, as close to red, white, and blue as I could. I don't really do white much, so it's red, white, red, cream, and blue. Just add a touch of the vintage photo to the immediate edge. I think that helps to give it an end. And I'm going to look for a couple things to go from my digital ephemera that I've cut out. And I wanted something blue. I do have some real strong blue colors, so I liked that one. And then I thought I'd bring something to bring out the brownish, goldish color that is in the wings. Almost have too much stuff in my little bin there that it's hard to find something. As soon as I see the orangey rust colored one, I know that's the one. And there it is. And it's kind of like a tag. It's got a little hole you can cut or punch and put a little eyelet or something in it. But often I bury that underneath something and it just looks like a label. And that's going to be my pieces that I add. I do stamp the orange piece. But before I start laying it down, I'm going to take a pen. This is just a black Sharpie fine point pen. And I'm just going to draw around the edge, almost like I would be stitching it. But I do have a good sewing machine. Almost too good to where I don't want to run paper through it. But I hate getting it out. is just, to me, a pain in the butt. So I'm just drawing a couple lines and having a couple spots where I maybe got some threads hanging, and that kind of just helps finish off the edges. So I'm going to stamp that before I start gluing. And I think I take something from, that's Field Notes. And I just grab a number that's going to fit that area. And I'm going to use graphite Archival Ink. And I think I'm ready to start gluing. I have to cover every little piece of that, so I'm just kind of randomly picking spots to make sure that there's glue. I decided to glue that to the bird instead of the piece down there, just so it would be where I wanted it as far as numbers showing up. And then I don't have to worry about where I put the bird. I can put the bird anywhere. And I intentionally make that 85 go off the page a little bit. And the last, well, I gotta do two more things. I think what I do first is put the hole for the art ring journal. So basically my art ring journal is, I have a big ring and I punch a hole in the corner with an eyelet, and all these go on a ring. That is my art ring journal. The size has one ring, my mini has one ring, my large one had two rings on the side. once I've filled up my homemade art journal, which is almost filled up. I think I might have one more to do. I might add another size of ring journal. I really like doing the ring journals, although I am doing the board books now too, so that's kind of a larger size. So I'm getting I'm going to put a word on it, and that's the last thing I'm doing. And I get it out of the, let's see, what's it called? Chit Chat sticker book from Tim Holtz. And I'm picking the white ones because then I'm going to make them blue. And I pick 2 words, cherish every day. I would have liked to have something that said something about freedom, or I don't know, but I wanted to say like cherish freedom or what, something like that, but cherish every day. And I started with stormy sky and it just wasn't quite blue enough, so then I went to faded jeans and added a little bit more blue, and I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to glue that on, and that's going to be it. I do have some final pictures coming up. If you want to see the ring journal, I believe I show a picture of that. Sometimes I forget. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do that. And if you liked this piece, give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. But that's it. Final pictures coming up again. And either way, whatever you guys do, have a great day.